Hello, everyone. Just, of course, someone just let me know if sound is working. As I always appreciate, just doing my attempt to lure people in by promising free beer. Anyways, welcome to my bedroom because right now we're in the midst of moving tons of shit around because we finally there is more. I'm glad to hear you guys can hear me. Thank you so much. Hello out there in the Twitchverse, angry young man. I'm sure you're not that angry. You can't be that angry. You're here. It's Friday. Vaccinations for everyone above age 16 in the U.S. Things are going okay. Anyways, so yeah, I'm glad you like the pink wig. I think the pink wig has become like it's become the go-to. I'm not sure what I'm gonna wear. It makes me I feel protected by my hair. So yeah, we're yes, indeed, different room. This is where this is my bedroom. This is where I'll make my love at. But yeah, just I want Oliver to come home too. Trust me. It's the other all the other animals are going fucking crazy. The two girl cats normally like all right. So Oliver and Bonnie came with my husband. When we got together, it was funny because I was planning on getting a second dog when I met my husband because I'm like, oh, buddy, maybe a friend would help with his lunacy. Maybe he needs another dog. Or as you can tell, all right. So my headphone mic is just it's fucking busted. I don't know if it's the headphone mic or the jack. Like it's not picking up anything. Like I tried out a different set of headphones that has a mic on it. It's just not picking up anything from that. So I don't think it's the. I don't know if it's the head. I don't know what it is with that one, but my headphone ones are not working, and I since I pulled everything into the into the bedroom, I didn't have the time to yank the big microphone stand, so you're getting me via the microphone that's attached to the webcam right now. So if the sound quality isn't great, I apologize. We're making do in the midst of finally getting some painting done. But yeah, back to bang room. I do look bang room bedroom. Same. But yeah, it's anyway. So cat's not. Yeah, the all the animals are acting kind of you know they're not in their best mood right now. So when I met my husband, going back to that story, he had two cats. I had a cat and a dog. I had Lexi, the big tortie, and Buddy, the idiot that I love. And he came with Bonnie and Oliver. Bonnie's the very tiny one who you guys don't see as often. She's just she's very quiet, but like as soon as she loves getting like if you sit there and scratch at her with like a very the combs, the very scratchy combs that pull cat hair out. Oh my god, she'll sit there and look at you like yes, more, my human, more. Like she's like I'll have what she's having. She gives you that kind of look, like oh god, she loves it. That's her little personality. And Oliver is just this big crazy loot that just he'll follow you to the bathroom and like sit in the tub and cry at you to get you to turn on the faucet so you can drink straight from the faucet, because even though he has multiple water bowls, at one point we ended up buying a fountain, like a little kitty fountain. Oh yeah, there it's if reincarnation is real, pray to come back in your next life as one of my cats, like because he liked having running water so much that we're like, let's just buy them a fountain. Fucking loved it. Anyways, it's people are asking, no, my kid. I'm gonna put it as a caption up here because that's gonna keep getting asked, and I don't want to keep saying it over and over again. No, Oliver is not home yet. No, Oliver the cat is not home yet. Sad face. Figure that will clear up misconceptions. Or not misconceptions, but that will answer that question, unfortunately. But should we all shout for Ollie in the same? It'd be no. Here's the quote good news, or at least what we think is good news. So there have been a couple of sightings of cats that we think might be Ollie in the neighborhood. Like every it's a small neighborhood, and a lot of people know each other in here. So like one of the housemates has gone around kind of door, like, I don't know if he's gone door to door, but he went around to a handful of houses where we know people, and has been like, hey, cat, have you seen it? Here's his description. He's got a, like, we even, like, put yes, we did put flyers up, with our with everything. We've got he's like, our cat has a collar on it with our names and like both my husband's and my names and phone numbers on them. And we double checked, he's microchipped, and his microchip is registered with our current name and address. So if he's found, and like, look, he'll annoy someone so much that they'll bring him to a shelter fucking immediately if they're like, oh, I'm gonna bring him inside and make him no, they will not. They're gonna be like, oh, he's got anxiety and he pees on the carpet unless like he needs. Look, he's the cat who's on Prozac because he has such crazy anxiety that he's gonna be like, I think the floor is my toilet unless you give him Prozac every other day. So yeah, I need my cat back because we need I need my happy kitty. I need to keep him. Need to get the cat happy and here and had anxiety and all the good stuff. So, anyways, I hope he's in the neighborhood somewhere. Likely he's in the neighborhood somewhere. I'm normally against the fact that so many people have like bowls of cat food outside because, the whole like cats are destroying the native bird population and that's not good. And I think having outdoor cats is a bad thing in general because, their cats are really bad for all the other animals out there. That like, it's not just that cats don't just like kill other animals for food. Cats will just, like, most of the animals that a cat kills, it's because they're bored or for entertainment or, they'll like, how many of you guys, how many of you guys out there who have cats, probably, I'm going to guess 100% of you who have a cat, how many of you have had a cat not destroy a mouse in the house, to for a meal or, to get rid of the mouse, but like come up to you and like you wake up and the cat's sitting at the foot of your bed and they're like, brought you something, Ma. Got something for you. Are you proud of me? Aren't you proud? Here's the mouse right on your pillow. Oliver is such a ferocious little hunter. Like, I swear on my fucking life. When we first moved in here, and like I said, we're still doing renovations. This place was, I did put his litter box outside. Like, I've done all the things I'm supposed to. There's nothing else I can do at this point. Litter boxes outside. Articles of clothing that smell like us are outside. Plates of food are outside. Posters are in the neighborhood. Like, I've done all the things. I don't need any more advice now. I just need my fucking cat to come home. Anyways, but so like when we first moved in here, there were like when I say there were major problems here, I mean we found a dead body. Okay, it was the ashes of the father of the person who used to live here, but I will still call it a dead body. I believe somebody found porn that they weren't sure if it was legal or not. It was pretty fucked up. I didn't see it, and I'm glad I did not. That was obviously destroyed. That was, let's see what else. There were multiple blow up dolls. And also there was a family of opossums that had to be extricated. I don't have the microphone. Hold on. I have to pretend there's a, Psy Mom has entered the chat. I feel better now. But yeah, so the thing about Oliver, like the other animals probably would have just, live and let live with the opossums. No. Oliver not only, occasionally would come up with one possum. There was the one day where I see him running on out from a corner, and I'd heard the squeak, squeak, squeakins. I didn't know what was happening. He has not one, but two baby opossums in his mouth, and they're not playing possum at that point. One of them is fucking fighting my cat for dear life, and Oliver's like, nah, I have the high ground. Like, this cat just doesn't fucking care. And I scream because I'm like, possum. Anyways, we get the possums away from Oliver and bring them outside. Anyways, but yeah, Oliver is he's a little bit of a fighter. There was a mouse in the house recently, and Oliver was how we found out there was a mouse. And like I'm good at accidentally letting out a little bit of a yelp, a little bit of a scream. I startle easily. Like, I'm not easily scared, but I am very easily startled. And Oliver starts walking towards me with this mouse in his mouth. Now, he has not killed this mouse. He has procured this mouse. Now, this is like maybe a month and a half ago. Anyways, he's walking towards me with this mouse. Now, my dog, being an idiot, starts walking towards the cat with the mouse in its mouth. The mouse is alive and struggling and letting out these little like mouse battle cries of "I'm gonna fuck you up," and Oliver's just looking at me like, "What? I brought you a mouse, Mom." And all I can picture is what's gonna like what direction is this mouse gonna fly in when my dog gets to my cat? And I'm just like, like those like it's cartoons in the 1950s where a woman's like up on a chair with a broom, like trying to like that was me for a second. And like as Buddy's approaching the cat, eventually like it's out of I think fucking surprise. Out of surprise, the cat drops the mouse, and like then like two of the cats and the dog are like on a chase for this mouse. But yeah, that was my interest. But Oliver was just walking towards me to be like, "Here, Mom, got you something. It's still alive. Do what you want with." They're very cute. Anyways, it's we're doing because they tend to come out and wander a little bit more at night because that it's look I did a bunch of searching for the MOS the other day on cats coming home because I wanted to calm myself down a bit. And yeah, they do tend to come out at night a bit more because less scary, less likely to be spotted. So hopefully we will find ourselves an Oliver later. Now this morning, oh my God, I was out with Buddy in the side yard. And there was a cat that I thought was Oliver in our side yard because there are a couple of different black cats in the neighborhood, and this one black cat was just fucking chilling there. And I don't know if it was Oliver. The face looked just like his, but again, like there's a black cat that chills out in our yard all the time, and this one, its tail didn't look like Oliver's, but its face, and it's killing me that like Oliver might just be underneath the house right now. So anyways, could be in the neighborhood, could not. That's welcome to life having a runaway kid. Anyway, so I want the cat back. Like it's shitty. The roommates that have been kind of meh about it have been, one's apologized and has, been really helpful. One's apologized and one's working on apologizing. Just taking some time. Anyways, so that's where Catgate is at the moment. That's where Psycat things are. Angela, he loves you. He doesn't want you to starve. I think they just think humans are shitty hunters. Like I saw a sciencey thing on that saying cats really just think that you're like dogs like love you and look up to you and like they worship you. You're their everything. Whereas cats kind of look at you like another cat. You're just another cat, but you're a dumb cat and a shitty hunter. And so they're like, "Here, I brought you some food because you seem kind of bad at this." Like that seems to be how cats look at you. And I'm like, I'm fine with it. Just don't eat my face in my sleep and they can chill out here. Anyways, but I've been hugging my other, because the thing about having four of them, like it's a weird thing when one of them goes missing because you're simultaneously holding your other babies very tight and you're like, "I love you, don't go anywhere." And you're also like, "But you're not Oliver." Like every time you look at them, it's like a bit of heartbreak that it's not your other little guy. But well, think about it. The cat has never seen you kill and eat anything. No, the cat has never seen me kill and eat something. I should bring it fishing with me sometime. I grew up partially my relatives are all from a fishing village, and when I was fairly young, I could go fishing off the wharf and behead and gut a fish all on my lonesome. So maybe if I bring the cat fishing, it will respect me as its equal. I'm talking about how to get a cat to respect me as its equal. That's what my life has come to. Anyway, so let's see. There's that's cats think of us as rather inept. Indeed, look, dogs have this isn't an old joke, so I'm not being at all original with this, but dogs have owners, cats have servants. It's quite true. No, the cat has seen me kill a bug. There are people who, when they see a bug, they put a glass on it, a little piece of paper, and I'm gonna bring it to its natural habitat. I'm like, I'm gonna bring you to Jesus. That's who I am when it comes to bugs. Like I figured there are quadrillions of species of that, more than we know. The one that came into my house can die. That's how that goes. That's just what's going to happen with them. If they're crawling on me, they don't have to live anymore. We're not doing no. I have changed my mind a bit on spiders. I do try to shoo them outside, but just not. I don't. The other one, no, they can go away. So yeah, guinea pigs see us as servants. I used to have, or my brother used to have pet guinea pigs. Very cute. I've had like try to think which animals I've had like as because I've had like all the little tiny things except rabbits. And gerbils were like the worst ones. I'm pretty sure gerbils were like they're jumpy and skittish and like don't fucking try to hold one. They're like nah, I'm not into it. Hamsters were pretty cute though. My first it's my first hamster I ever brought home from the pet store came home pregnant. So I brought home 5 hamsters without knowing it. So that was a fun science project. The circle of life for a 7-year-old. Anyways, I came with very little plan to talk about today because I'm like, let's get through what I can whilst being sad about my cat. I am wearing a funny shirt underneath my. Hold on a second. This is a Kiko. You're getting a shout because you sent me this sweatshirt. I love it so much. This was like a Neil deGrasse Tyson, like a fan designed it, and it's from one of his collections. A moment of science, please. I dig that because it's on brand. Anyways, but underneath this, hold on, let me see if I can get the wig to stay on through a sweatshirt removal. I can do this. I don't know if I can do this. It's gonna get very silly. Oh yeah, it's happening. Maybe it's happening. It kind of worked. Okay. At least the undershirt did not come off. We're good. Anyways, I thought that some of you guys might appreciate this. Guys, it's not a t-shirt, it's true. I wanted to share that with you. Anyway. What were we talking about? So that's how I'm coping right now, is with very silly. Someone just asked, shouldn't there be music for taking a sweatshirt off, or just background music for this in general? Because I can arrange background music. That is a thing that we could do. That's a thing we can start doing for the show. We can add this to the background. Anyways, I don't know if this hair is going to get unmessed. I'm trying. I'm working on it. Go there. There we go. Got it. Kind of. Oof. Come on. I will learn how to be a good wig wearer one day. So the story behind the shirt is that my friend Brandon got a shirt that says definitely not on drugs. So I needed a shirt that said definitely not on drugs. If Brandon jumped off the Brooklyn, yes, I would jump off it with him. That's like that kind of friendship. Oof. Anyways, but yeah, so let's quickly touch on, I'm just going to go straight into it. So there's been, India has had a really terrible week with regards to COVID. If you've seen, because everyone's having a bit of a spike, right? Wouldn't it be amazing if Oliver showed up in the middle of... Yeah, if one of my housemates knocks on the door and is like, yeah, Oliver showed up, you guys would see me have like the biggest fucking breakdown. I would love that, partially because y'all have been checking in on me so much, and I didn't realize, what this was going to turn into. And I was like, let's open up my house and, start having a little community. Having people saying they were logging in to check to see if my cat was home has been... I don't even know how to describe that feeling. Like my husband is completely super supportive, obviously. And like, he's, he obviously loves the amount of, support I get out of this. And I told him yesterday, like, while we were, we went out to hunt for the cat, and we found a cat in a tree that we thought was Oliver at first, was looked like him, top of the tree. It's hard to, at night, it's hard to see what the cat looks like. And he calls him, and the cat sounded like Oliver when he meowed. And when it got down to us, it was obviously not Oliver. And we were just, gutted. And I'm looking through the, notes from you guys. And, one person, there were comments like, I was logging in just to check to see if Oliver was okay. And it's just like, he's, same as me. We're both like, thank you guys so much. It's just, this is rough. Like I get it. It's not we're not people who are like, there are fur babies. They're not children. Like it's, but it's the, for people who are not going to have kids, they are the closest thing that we will ever experience to that. And we love them quite a bit. And Oliver was not old. He was not sick. We are not ready to say goodbye to him. We really hope that's not the case. And this all wicked super sucks. I see Star Starling saying, I know you don't need any more advice. This is actually what we're doing. But I had luck taking my dog for a walk and paying extra attention to the places he pulls. We brought Buddy with us last night because Buddy and Oliver, they play all the time. Oliver doesn't run from him. So we have been, that's actually a really good suggestion. So no, you're right, Akiko. They are family. And it's like, here's the thing. And I say this half jokingly because whenever I hear a friend saying, oh, they're just like children, I'm like, I say this as a person who has, a lot of friends with kids and has done quite a bit of traveling while leaving, like back before I met Derek and I was single and just had, I had a cat and a dog. My neighbor would dog sit for me. And I feel that if I treated a child the same way I treated a dog in those situations, someone would have called CPS because I could not have asked the neighbor, hey, here's $20 and a 6-pack. Could you check in on the dog? Could you watch the dog for me this week? I don't think that would have worked with a baby. I feel there would have been phone calls is what I'm saying. So like, like we get attached to them the same way. We get a very similar attachment, that there's a similar pain in our heart, especially, and I mean, science is that there's a deeper attachment to dogs. I don't know how true that is individual person to individual cat and dog. But yeah, the pain of losing one of them fucking blows. And the horribleness of having one be just missing is, and not knowing, like not knowing if he's scared, if he's in pain, if he's injured. That's awful. That's why we don't have kids. No, I'm not having kids because I know how bad my childhood was, and I don't want to repeat any of the mistakes my parents made. Not my mom, of course. She was perfect. But I don't. It's like I remember I specifically remember my father doing this. My father did this, and I hated it when he did it, and then he would do those exact same things, and I'm like, I don't want to take that risk. I can't do it. Nope. So that, and like, I think kids deserve a lot of effort. They need a lot of time, a lot of energy. I don't have that in me. They deserve more than I have. And I think recognizing that is important. So like, it's, there are people who are like, oh, you'll find the energy when you have why do that to a kid? Why risk it? Plenty of people having the babies, and I'm not a person who wants one. I love the pets though. And I'm really sad that one of them is missing. So anyways, I keep on I keep on trying to start up I'm like I said, this is going to be a short one today. It's Stephen Graff just said every outdoor cat will disappear for 2 weeks sooner or later. That's the problem. Oliver was not an outdoor cat, you see. He was not supposed to be an outdoor cat at fucking all. There was an issue here. That was a problem. Anyways, so that's now for a while the animals were getting to roam downstairs with the other housemates, and when now here's the thing, I'm not like I've just kind of avoided my roommates for a couple days because I love my roommates and I want to not be mad at the ones who are like, oh, it seems fine. The cats are staying on the porch with us when we're staying outside. They're not running away. So they kind of got lulled into a false sense of security that the cat was going to stay there. But my husband and I knew from experience that the cat had run away once before. When we lived in Vallejo, a couple of years ago, we had a backyard that was fenced in, and we would sit on the back porch with the cat. And for a while, we got to the point where as long as we were, the back door was open and we could see, we would let them outside for, they would stay outside, and we trusted them until that day that Oliver ran away and we stopped having outdoor time for the cats. And it was, it's okay, Stephen, don't worry. I'm just, explaining how we got here with the cats. But we stopped having outdoor time with the cats when we realized, hey, they're cats and they're gonna fucking run. To be fair, Lexi could still go outside because I'm gonna be blunt, she's a little too bottom heavy to make it over a fence. So she's look, Mama's little babushkaling is she knows what she likes and it's calories. But yeah, we just knew after that what we that we could not let them outside again because here's the thing, he came back 6 hours later. David Schwab over on YouTube just said poor Oliver doesn't know what to do outside. No, here's the thing, he might know, he might be coming back onto the property every night. We don't, like, we have food out there for him. His litter box, like, he came back before at another address. He's lived here for quite a bit of time. He knows all the different entrances. Just, Kiko has it right. Never trust cats. They will break your fucking heart. But anyways, so I'd be upstairs working because, I stay upstairs to, on my floor, to work, and the animals, sometimes during the day they'll be, as you guys have seen, on the little, on stuff I post on Instagram and whatnot, like 3 out of 4 animals will be sitting on top of me at any given time, even though they have this giant house. But Oliver had been going downstairs a little bit more lately. Bonnie had been going downstairs a bit more lately. And I did not know this, but they had been having Oliver outside on the porch, like when they were having their morning coffee or while they were doing yard work, which they don't exactly have an eye on him all the time while they're doing that. And look, I understand that point of view of, well, we could see him, so he wasn't running anywhere, so we think he's not misbehaving. And I'm like, okay, he's not going to misbehave until the day he does. And we've seen this happen before. And yeah, it's just, I can't have eyes everywhere in the house at all times. And like, we asked the roommates to not, and my husband had asked a couple of them multiple times not to. And people were just like, well, what are we supposed to do? This window doesn't have a screen and he wants to go out this window. I don't know, put a fucking screen on it, Richard. Like, to be clear that, like I said, people have, kind of have been apologetic now. It's just been the first day. It was just a lot of people being like, well, it's not what was I supposed to be a better person about the fact that you wanted the cats downstairs too, because you like having the cats around and it's a responsibility. So that's what happened. I don't have eyes everywhere. So anyways, I appreciated it, Kiko. It's like, I might hit you up for that. I will let you know. It might just be like, cause at night we're just he seems to be somewhere on this one block. So if it turns into a multi-block search effort, I'll let you know. But for now, just on this block. But yeah, it's I really hope that he's going to come home soon. So let's get off the topic of the cat, because it's as we've talked enough about Oliver. He's going to come home. Or we're going to find him on one of our nightly walks, or someone's going to find him. He's chipped. We've done everything we can. It just fucking blows. He's a great goddamn cat. This blows. Yeah, like I said, chip your cats. If this has taught you nothing, chip your cat. Like I feel much better knowing that if somebody finds him, if he manages to ingratiate himself into someone's life enough that they'll pick him up and then bring him to the vet, he's chipped and the chip is registered. If your cat is not chipped yet, at your next vet appointment, it's something like $75. Fucking chip your cat. If that's too much for you and you love your little babushkaling as much as I love my little babushkaling, and I don't know why I call them that, because babushka is like a word for a grandmother in Russia. Anyways, if you need that, just seriously email me. I will find a way to get your cat chipped. You need your animals chipped. That's just it's basically your chance of getting your cat back if they're found. If they don't have a chip, is something like 2%. If they're found and they are chipped, it goes up to something like 75%. It's huge. Anyways, get yourself a chip for that cat. So anyways, I tend to agree with you on this, Carrie. He's a cat. He's having an adventure, and he's going to come back. It's still just stressful while we don't know how long that adventure is going to be. Koshka, actually, you're gonna laugh. I actually knew that because I'm taking Russian lessons right now. And I actually know the Cyrillic for that. I'm doing. It's funny. Learning Cyrillic is just, or learning a language in Cyrillic is a fucking trip because, like, I have no instinct yet for what these letters sound like when put together in so many cases, and it's like in like I speak obviously English. French is my, or let's see, I Spanish is my second language. I started learning it when I was 11. I'm decent in Spanish. I'm conversational, not 100% fluent. French, I'm conversational in. My accent isn't. My accent is better than my vocabulary, if that makes sense. But then, whatchamacallit, I took a little bit of, I did a whole bunch of German on Duolingo last year, and now I can read a bit of it, which is kind of nice. And it was oddly intuitive because, again, it's English is Germanic, and they seem very similar. But now I decided to learn Russian. Holy shit. And it's like with the other three, like Spanish, as long as you like same alphabet as English, and every single letter is pronounced the same way every time you see it. Like there's no variation, like one word to the next. There's none of this. Oh, UGH has 27 different ways it's just always the same. It's great. Like Spanish, super fucking easy to learn. French grammar is super similar to Spanish, different pronunciations, and those pronunciations can be really goddamn hard. From knowing those two, I can pretty easily read, not speak, not speak at all, and half the time not understand. But again, can read Portuguese, Italian, Romanian even, because Romanian, little known fact, Romanian's a Romance language. Who fucking knew? Anyways, should have known because it's in the name. Anyways, but yeah, the Latin ones, it's all of the Romance languages, so very goddamn similar, at least in in the base of their languages. I would, but yeah, there's it's useful having two of them because having that kind of cross reference in my brain helps with figuring out, with at least, like I said, reading other languages. But yeah, Russian. Like I'm at that point where I kind of feel like I know what like what most I kind of have it in my head now what most of the letters sound like. And then I get to a word where I'm like, I thought that one made a gus sound and now it's a vus, huh? I'm so confused. But like, there's not quite like when I hear a word pronounced, like I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense. But then if I saw that same word and was asked, please pronounce that, I'd be like, who? Like I wouldn't be able to look at Pajosta and be like, oh yeah, I've got that. Like that's not like there's, the longer they are and the more letters that are like, are brand new to me, the worse it gets. So that, it's taken time, but it looks less like hieroglyphics now. Anyways, so I see, anyways, let's, now that we've had our, let's see, when you want to start on Japanese, let me know. I will take the torture, ma'am. I will definitely take the torture. Anyways, we'll speak back and forth in Japanese and Russian. It'll be fine. I joke that I tried to learn German and Russian so I could read all the World War II stuff in the original languages, or just because I like the ugly ones occasionally. It's like start on French and Spanish, then get a challenge, because the last time I felt like I took a course that really fucked with my brain was college philosophy and PChem. Anyways. Johnson & Johnson's being administered again. Yay! Like I said it was going to, because it was I realize my hair makes it look like I'm topless, and I'm gonna lean into that. Yeah. We're gonna go with that. But yeah, J&J is back on the market, apparently being as Ryan. Thank you for filling us in, Ryan. It should be quote administered with a warning. Look, if I was anybody out there who's considering getting a shot and my first one available, and I told my old roommate Alicia and I were chatting today because I'm so excited. I got to see her in like a week. We've got a lady date, and because my vaccine's fully kicked in, and anyways, she's like, which one? She's like, I don't think I'm going to get J&J. I've got my appointment. I don't know which one they're giving me. And I was like, just put, I was like, get whatever one you've got. She's like, I don't know. J&J said, I don't trust it. I don't trust and I'm like, look, you don't know which one they're going to offer you. if they offer you J&J, you fucking take it. And if you, for whatever reason in your brain, just keep not trusting it, and in the back of your head, you're like, I don't know about this. Maybe one day, months from now, get a different one. And I look at it and go, yes, like I'm sure someone out there is looking at me going, oh, you're telling someone to take 2 vaccines? No, I think it's a really fucking bad idea. But hear me out. I would rather, if I tell, I don't actually think she's going to go out and get a second vaccine. I don't know. But if it gets her to get a vaccine today, as opposed to waiting and becoming a person who gets COVID, because, it's the type of job she has, she's out seeing people. I would rather her go out and get J&J now and eventually likely become comfortable with the immunity she has from J&J, or there's a chance that J&J will be like, oh, we're through our trials with doing 2 doses. 2 doses is actually better. Here's your second shot, and she'll get that and be again, happy with her decision to get the first shot. But again, I see it's half the. I'm claiming half the wish list. I'm putting more shirts on there then. But again, always get the first shot you're offered. Like the reason I got Moderna, it was the first one I had available. If Pfizer had been available that Tuesday, would have been Pfizer. If J&J was available that Tuesday, it would have been J&J. I was happy to take the very first one I had. But yeah, get whatever you can for the shot. And I'm glad that I could tell my roommate, and I'm glad that she trusted me on this, because it's sometimes, and I love her, but sometimes she'll fall into a little bit of conspiratorial thinking every so often, and I can pull her back from the brink, luckily. But it's easy to be like, I don't trust this company, there's some fuckery with this, it doesn't seem as effective. And it's like, no, it's going to bring anyone's chances of, it's going to eliminate all the chances of severe disease, and it's going to bring your chances of getting, and especially in her case, she's young, extremely healthy, very athletic. I'm like, your chances of getting anything more than a tiny little cold if you get J&J are minimal. So it was nice to be able to talk someone through this and see that J&J has a really, I just feel very weird looking that naked. So definitely not on drugs. Definitely not on drugs. I feel like I should confess to how many vapes are sitting around here. Look, it's my husband's work. Just far too often he just shows up at home and is like, here, we made a new flavor. Try this one. I do what I can to support the company. Anyways, but yeah, see, getting my second Pfizer stick on the 3rd, yeah, it makes me, it still makes me happy. Like, if you guys have not joined Discord, our little Discord server yet, you should. Let me just throw the, let me just throw a quick invite to our Discord server here. If you guys have not joined Discord yet, you should. It's my husband's watching this and just said, "What, you of course I'm not complaining. Dear, like, it's my love of my life, light of my life, darling Poopski Pie. Why would I complain about this aspect that so makes life easier, so makes the comments section more pleasant? It's a delightful look, I'm just saying, it's a perk. It is definitely not the reason I married you. It is a perk, though. It's helpful. I am a vape hoarder, though. Okay, so look, we're quite sure that I have untreated ADHD, and I get it. Everyone, like, it's the thing that everyone on the internet's like, I definitely have ADHD, but like, I've slowly realized that, like, most of the things I thought were personality quirks were actually untreated ADHD. There's an object permanence issue. There's I'll forget that I have a vape in a location in the house where I clearly have a vape, or a bottle of water, or just a pen or whatever. And eventually there's like a stack of them. I'm like a dragon fucking hoarding gold. But like, next to my spot on the couch where I'm writing, just piles of like just it's very weird how I end up accumulating things because I'm like, oh, I thought this wasn't here. There's an object permanence issue. Anyways, so what happens when your doctor looks at you and goes, oh, you're a 37-year-old woman with focus issues? It's probably depression. It's got to be depression. Could never be ADHD. But yeah, like there's like basically the only thing I can do to try to manage what is very clearly a case of ADHD. And I feel like if you've watched my live streams and you don't think I have ADHD, then you're not watching. But the only thing I've managed to find that's kind of sort of helping is, number one, getting an espresso machine. Thank you, whoever sent that off my wish list. But it's, oh, by the way, somebody bought all the coffee things off my wish list. Fucking thank you. I'm just saying, the espresso has made my mornings much more productive. But oh yeah, same thing. People thought it was anxiety for me too, and it's like, yeah, I'm anxious because it's like the executive dysfunction just feeds into the anxiety. I have a task I need to do. I have a task I know I need to do, and it's bothering me, and I'm anxious because I can't get it done. But what can I do? Do it, executive dysfunction, because I have ADHD. But so I found, now I feel very weird. I'm not recommending this, not medical advice, not a doctor. And this is, I was surprised to find this. Now, some of you guys might have heard of a medication called modafinil. It's an ADHD medication used, I think it's still prescribed in India. It's prescribed in a couple of countries, it's not prescribed in the US basically, or I don't think it is. But anyway, you can't buy modafinil online, but as a nootropic. Now, a lot of nootropics, basically they're like, here are some precursors to brain drugs that make your brain work better. I found adrafinil, adrafinil, I believe is the spelling of it. Adrafinil is a precursor to modafinil. And I found that, and it's been working really fucking well to kind of keep the ADHD a little bit better under check. I started taking it beginning of this year, and I don't know if you've noticed, but I've been writing a thing every fucking day this year. So it's, the ADHD is not perfectly under check. Obviously, I think that my brain could be a little bit better sorted with that. I bought one other nootropic. I'm forgetting the name of it right now, but no, the change since I've been on adrafinil has been huge. Just in terms of my ability to get up in the morning and tell all the things that are like, here's a distraction, here's a thing you could be doing that's not work, just to shut it all down. And focus on a thing and take joy in it and do, the things that I need to do to get through my day and not feel like and the other part about it, because I've tried, can't I just eat daffodils? You could eat daffodils. Why not eat some daffodils? But after, I've tried other ADHD meds, obviously, because who in LA who amongst us does not have friends just with a bunch of Adderall kicking around? But they made me feel very jittery, and it's like my heart was about to out of its chest. I don't get that at all with adrafinil, and I'm sure experiences are very different one person to the next, but I've been quite fortunate with how well adrafinil has worked out for me. If you're someone who likewise is having an issue with your doctor being like, you can't possibly have that, there's no way, I'm not gonna diagnose you, you're depressed. I don't have, and here was one of my other clues. I was put on Wellbutrin for depression. Now, they're pretty sure that part of the issue with ADHD is a dopamine issue. Wellbutrin, it's for depression, but it's not an SSRI, it's not an SNRI. It inhibits your dopamine reuptake. It gives you more dopamine, the stuff that we're pretty sure you're deficient on if you have ADHD. And it worked really fucking well for me, both in terms of my ability to focus and my depression. So it was kind of a big old, that's a big old clue that that it might just be, it could, maybe it's ADHD, but yeah, between adrafinil, a little extra coffee, and the Wellbutrin, it's better under control than it's been, but not. It'd be really nice if a medical professional would take this shit seriously. For anyone other than a 7-year-old boy who's hyper, like that'd be fucking great. Like a number of my girlfriends who have had to fight to get diagnosed because they're like, well, you've gotten so much done. Yeah, in spite of this, not because of this. God, like, have you been on any amphetamine? I have. No, how to phrase this? Like, a doctor hasn't necessarily prescribed it, but perhaps it has been in my system before. Yes, I've tried Adderall before and Ritalin. They fucking help. Here's the thing, and I've asked a doctor if we could try whatchamacallit, there are other medications that aren't amphetamine based medications, and I've asked if we could try those out, because a lot of times doctors don't want you to try, or they don't want to put you on amphetamine based medications, because that's, people enjoy those a little bit much. And like part of the reason I like adrafinil is because I don't feel jittery at all. I don't get that weird amphetamine buzz. Like I can still eat while I'm on that, which I appreciate. Like like when I've tried, I forget which one it was, but there was one of the fairly strong ADHD meds. It was almost impossible to get a bite of food down until like way late at night. And it was, my sleep suffered for it. Like this, I can fall asleep at night, and I can eat during the day, which is quite helpful. But no, it's like I'm curious if I think it's called Vivance. Like there are two different ones that are non amphetamine based. I believe that if a doctor would just work with me on this, as opposed to look at me and going, yeah, but maybe it's just the pot you smoke. I'll sufficiently treat my pain with something else then. So I just biological lemon, man. I guess you can't have ADHD and have your skeleton fucked up. I don't know. Anyways, but yeah, so there's the level I'm operating on at the moment. But again, I'm pretty sure the adrafinil is helping get through the writing, and that I'm more functional on it than I was without it, which is nice. I feel like I sleep a little better at night because I'm more awake during the day and able to crash out hard at night, or not just, out, but like I'm a little better balanced out from it. But if you're likewise suffering, and unable to get a doctor to fucking work with you because our medical system's fun, Nootropics Depot, is where I got it from, and it's called adrafinil. Adrafinil. Again, not medical advice. This is not a prescription thing. This is a supplement. Use at your own risk. These are all provisos. You did not get this advice here. These are not the droids you're looking for. Let's see, but modafinil is used by sleep doctors for hypersomnia and narcolepsy. Yeah, I mean that makes sense. So it's a lot of, and I mean they use it. I believe they also use amphetamines to treat that as well. Like it's very similar medications are used to treat ADHD and narcolepsy. So fun stuff. The human body is fascinating when it works, and even more fascinating when it fucks up. Whew. I love that we're chatting about daffodils now. Daffodils, good to know that daffodils are poisonous. I'm glad someone pointed that out. Thank you for the well wishes on Psy-Cat coming home. I hope Psy-Cat comes home too. There's a Psy dog right next to me, buddy. He's like, nah, I'm sleeping, Ma. Leave me alone. Scrolling. See, my daughter's been on Concerta since she was 10. She's 21 now, and her new doctor won't prescribe it because she uses cannabis. She said, how am I supposed to stop using cannabis if I can't have my Concerta? Yeah, and here's the thing. I'm on, if you have Kaiser for health insurance, then I know the pain you're going through, because it's basically, at least I was told it was Kaiser policy that I had to pass a drug test for marijuana, in order to even discuss, like they were like, first you have to go through several months of meeting and group therapy for ADHD. And then after months of group therapy, then they would consider fucking consider looking at my case to see if I had ADHD. And then they would start like talking about passing a drug test. So I'm like, so I have to go through, oh, it's Kaiser as well. If you're in Kaiser, Los Angeles, please, I'll at least, I'll tell you who it's, yeah, shoot me, if you're in Kaiser, LA, shoot me an email and I'll tell you which psychiatrist I have and who, like, that which one is decent at least, and we'll work with you to a point. I had a couple of bad experiences early on where one just was like, oh, you're obviously a drug seeker. I'm like, am I really though? I got nothing for you then. I'm sorry. But what if God smoked cannabis? There's a really good Robin Williams routine on what if God smoked pot. And I don't want to do it a disservice. So he starts talking about the platypus in it though. It's fantastic. I feel I've not talked about COVID at all somehow today, and it's been 51 minutes. So anyways, there's a COVID situation in India that's really fucked up right now. Super fucked. Super fucked up right now. It's COVID's getting like, and like, you know how things are, were really bad over the winter pretty much everywhere. Like they were especially bad in certain parts of the US and in Europe. It was like the biggest spike that we've had anywhere. It was awful. Like, no, don't go out anywhere. There's this new strain that's like super COVID. COVID classic was bad, but COVID plus is where it's right now in India. They're in a state where they've run out of oxygen. Like, I don't know how much of India has run out of oxygen, but it seems like a lot of India has run out of oxygen. Shit's pretty bad. Anyways, it seems like an overall failure to plan, failure to vaccinate, failure to, like, when you get to the point where you don't have enough oxygen and people are dying because of it, that's failure to control the epidemic beyond what I know how to put into words. Because there were hospitals where they were like, please use less oxygen, use it only after people's oxygen's dropped below a certain point. They were doing that in Los Angeles at one point, which is fucking terrifying. And it's why I stayed home entirely from like January until when I got my vaccine, for fuck's sakes. Oh my God, Peru's facing oxygen shortages. Yeah, here's what I've been saying. Yeah, didn't LA run out? LA did not run out. They ran low, which is just as goddamn terrifying. It's because when you're running low, it's just you don't know, and cases are still going up. You don't know when people are going to leave the hospital either by getting better or in body bags in order for that. You don't know when there's going to be enough oxygen supply coming in to make it better. You don't. It was scary. It's why I stayed home. It was why I super fucking locked down and lost my mind for a few months. Yeah, that was scary. But there was a video, and here's the thing. It's hard to tell. I'm on the other side of the planet. You never know if the news that you're getting over here is accurate to the news that is accurate to what's happening over there. But it looked like there was one story that I saw that they'd gotten an oxygen truck, huge oxygen truck, shipped in. And instead of getting it right, plumped into the facility, instead of doing what they should have done and get that oxygen to patients, like they stopped for 2 hours and took fucking pictures. Like politicians were like, "Here we are with the truck. We did the thing. It's us. We're taking pictures with it. See us, truck. We did the good job." And held up that tanker for 2 hours. And I don't know. I don't recall if anyone died like from waiting, but for fuck's sakes, that oxygen you could have taken pictures of that truck while the oxygen was being fucking piped in, but that's a thing that happened. And then there was one truck that had a major leak, again in India. I don't know if it was the same truck, but yeah, things are grim. I don't know. Here's the thing. I don't know if there's any place to donate to that can help right now. And this is not an area where I know how to vet in terms of getting oxygen to some, like, it's, if you guys know of the right charity, if anyone knows of a correct charity, of a place that can get resources to people in India who are struggling with COVID right now, please let me know. I'll link it in my next live stream. It's just, I just don't know where to, like, this is not my area of expertise, and I really don't want to ever send people to a charity that's not on the level. And it's just, it's, I just, I know it's mean to make fun of you know, of morons, but, like, we're allowed to laugh at this one, right? Ted Nugent, the Nuge, got the COVID, and I'm just saying, this asshole, this fucking asshole, this fucking piece of shit. Like, I'm just like, hold on, what's clogged? I needed that before talking about the news. I thought I had water down there somewhere. Anyways, this asshole called it a hoax for months and said the virus wasn't that bad and there was nothing wrong with it. And did we mention, thank you, Akika, that this motherfucker's probably a pedophile and a complete piece of shit. And then he said he thought he was going to die when he got COVID. And God damn it, in the case of COVID versus Ted Nugent, I was rooting for COVID. Sorry you didn't die, Ted. Just sorry. Yeah, there. It's. No, I have nothing good to say about this fucking pedophile. Look, I just want to say, for QAnon being all about we're gonna catch the pedophiles, right? Ted Nugent, Matt Gaetz, Donald Trump, all these other men who were accused of fucking a 13. I'm just saying, they're right there. It's, anyways, just Ted Nugent caught the COVID, thought he was gonna die. I love, there's a picture from the beginning of the Trump presidency with, like, Trump and Sarah Palin, and I don't remember if it was Ted Nugent or Kid Rock, but, like, I think everyone from that picture caught COVID now, and they were all, like, COVID deniers at first, and it's like, aww, the plague hath passed through this house. I love it. I see Dave House commenting, Wellbutrin is a freaking wonder drug. It's, hold on, trying to, come on, show this comment. Wellbutrin's a freaking wonder drug. It really helped me with long-term depression. Samesies. I was in a very dark place beginning of the pandemic, and I was already on Wellbutrin, but they upped my dose. And I started the pandemic in just the best mood because the heightened dose was kicking in, and oh shit, I was bouncing around the house fucking singing. It was great. But yeah, it's if works for a lot of people, and I honestly think part of the reason it works so well for me when other antidepressants had failed is because it's partially because I have ADHD, and it helps increase your dopamine. So there's my thought. I guess pedophilia is only some yeah, see, here's the thing, the QAnoners, let's it's QAnoners don't actually care about catching pedophiles. They don't actually really care about much of anything. They don't have an ideology. It's just one long, continuous conspiracy theory. And there's something I've learned. It's really hard to wake them up out of conspiracy theory, because any new bit of reality, anything that contradicts their known reality, they're just gonna spin it into their little bubble of craziness. Thing didn't happen. Oh, the thing that was today was the day that Donald Trump was that the cabal was gonna go. Oh, there's a reason for that. Here's the thing. You see, the deep state did that, and this was gonna just like what's happening to Matt Gaetz right now, there's a plan, there's a reason, surely. Like, or, he was a plant from Antifa or something. Like, there's always a reason to try to keep, even though they have to see it on some level that the narrative has no internal consistency. But that's that's what happens with conspiracy theories. They stay they find a way to kind of just build up walls that make no sense, that are are uneven and are crumbling. But they're like, I like my house this way. This house is fine. It's my moat is wonderful in protecting me. Sir, that's a river running straight through your house. It's a moat. Call it what you want, sir. You're standing in a mud pile. I'm enjoying the commentary over here. It's talking about COVID, Ted Nugent getting COVID. My prayer goes to the family of COVID in this difficult time. Man. No, it's really it's really sad now watching, having watched so many people fall to the Q thing. Because, like, don't you guys remember when Q started and it seemed like just this, like, tiny bit of crazies, and then, like, no, it's people who we thought were normal and sane started falling for all of it, and that was horrifying. Like, all of it was fucking horrifying. But it's like, there are people who will say, I'm not QAnon, and like, but then they'll espouse all of the QAnon conspiracy theories because they've turned into mainstream Republicanism at this point. And whatchamacallit, and not just turned into mainstream Republicanism, but even if all the elected officials don't agree with a single word of the QAnon bullshit, they are parroting it, and they're giving like the little nod and a wink and the, hey, I'm on your side, QAnoners. It's Marjorie Taylor Greene said some bad things, but we love her and we're going to applaud her when she comes out and apologizes. It's just like, no matter what they're claiming, they'll double back on it so fast, as long as it means more votes for the. It's just they're morally bankrupt and they're ideologically bankrupt. So I miss, like, I kind of miss that. And I get it. This is just, it was, I don't know if it was less bad or if it's youthful naivete, but like, I miss the 90s when like the worst Republicans were just as bad as Reagan, which was still pretty fucking bad. But like, the criminal fucks were at least had some degree of shame, a little, like. And I think they just realized this point, that they could just get away with it all. Like, that everyone in their party would cover for them, that they would blatantly try to get away with crimes. They would pretend that the crimes weren't crimes, and that the people would be talked into it so easily. And that's what keeps happening. I don't know if I don't know what'll get it back to normal, if anything, if it'll ever go back. But that's why I like my nice cozy bubble here with you people, because it seems like there are some folks who value facts and whatnot. Anyways, so it's been, just hold on a quick second. You guys are only the second person I've licked in this bedroom. Just wanted to let you know. It's a very special moment for you, for me too. Very special moment. Oh, very, very, very special. Buddy. Hey boy. Buddy has decided he does not want his slumber disturbed. He can be very cozy, very snuggly. If he's like, Mom, no. It's nut time. No. Kiko, 90s neocons and neolibs. Man, the 90s were a simpler time when you couldn't tell the difference between like, they were just kind of, they were kind of like, there's a reason the 90s birthed South Park. Like, they had some things they genuinely disagreed on, but it's like, changing of the guards. They were going to go back to bombing brown people somewhere in the Middle East and doing, the same kind of fuckery one party the next. But like somewhere around the 2000s, around after 9/11, something deeply changed. They were no longer like it's there were deep differences in the parties anyway, but like if you weren't a political person, if you didn't keep up with politics, like they weren't as immediately obvious. But like now it's like if you can't, now if you don't see that they're not that they're deeply different, you're trying to see that they're the same. You're trying to see them as they're just the same party. Yeah, one of them's fighting for healthcare and one of them's fighting to treat gay people differently. Just anyways. So, let's see. Speaking of I don't even know what speaking of licking, how about Vaginal Appreciation Day? Sir, I appreciate my vagina every single day. That's just how I'm gonna leave it there. See, they used to be able to talk to each other and actually live and share. Yeah, I mean here's the thing. Like when this page started, never mind like forever ago. When this page started, when this right here, direct from the lab, right here, when we started this not even just a little under 7 years ago, I had Republican friends. I accepted and then rescinded an offer to write for Laura fucking Ingraham's website. Yeah, that happened. I ended up after I wrote 2 pieces that I never got paid for and never had published because I saw what they were doing in the editing process. They were I was like, science. They were just doing science writing. There's no way they can take science and turn it Republican or put a fucking agenda on it. And then they did. They put a fucking agenda on it, and I was like, my writing will not be appearing on your website. Good luck in your future endeavors. And I left. And then a couple years later, when I was looking for an article I'd written, I took one of those articles, sold it to another website. A couple years later, when I was looking for that article, I found it wasn't on that website that I sold it to, but for some reason it just showed up on fucking Laura Ingraham's website, and they never goddamn paid me for it. So yeah, as recently as 7 years ago, I would work for a Republican because I was still at that point of, I think Republicans deserve science too, because I was fighting the good fight for GMOs at that point, and Republicans were way more pro-GMO because that was a farmery thing, and liberals are like, no, that's like it's very weird because I still see, liberals as bad on some science, unfortunately. Like it's hard to get, you're more likely to get people who are like, alternative medicine's good on the left, and that makes me kind of sad. There are people like you're more likely to get people who are anti-nuclear on the left, and I'm not going to get into that fucking argument right now because I don't have the patience. But like you're going to get a split of people who have their tribal beliefs in terms of which scientists are real on each side. And I think in general there are more harmful ones on the right. But I don't even want to get into it, but that was part of the reason why I was willing to go write for Laura fucking Ingraham was because I was like, there are these things that people on the left are bad on, and Republicans deserve science too. And the first things they wanted me to write about were, I believe, homeopathy and vaccines. And I was like, cool, we're talking about medicine. We're really pounding away that medicine's real. And it was like somehow they managed to take my vaccine article and attack a black Muslim. Like, that's a thing that they managed to fucking do right away. And I was like, man, that's some fucking editorializing. Like, I'm okay with being edited. I'm not okay with you putting your own goddamn spin on my work. And that was why I decided not to keep writing for Laura Ingraham, was they took my vaccine article and managed to attack a black Muslim man. That seriously fucking happened. And then they published the homeopathy article and never paid me for it without permission to publish it. So my point being, as someone set up thread, Republicans and Democrats used to live in the same world. They used to work together. A pretty far left progressive, I had a really like I had several very close Republican, and I still have a lot of close Libertarian friends, but I had some close Republican, capital R, work in Republican politics friends. And at first they were anti-Trumpers. One of them voted Ted. I had one who just swallowed and voted for Ted Cruz. One voted in Mike Pence. Like they were never Trumpers. And then the administration came in and they were like, they were like, I just really, even if I don't like Trump, I love what the administration's doing. And by the end of the first term, they were red hatters spinning fucking everything that he did as being good. And I'm like, you of 4 years ago would not recognize yourself. You had opinions 4 years ago. You had things you disagreed with in your party, and now you agree with fucking everything. I still disagree with things in my own party constantly. I disagree with things on the far left. I disagree with things on the far. It's been sad watching friends that I used to think had, that were conservative, that I used to think had their own thoughts about their party, fall in line with everything with this, especially when it's been so harmful to people they claim to care about. And I know in their own way, they think that what they're doing is good and caring, when it's people are screaming at them, no, this is awful. And it's just been really, really sad. So it's been really sad seeing this happen to people that I dig. Curious what I consider far left. It's hard to define far left when I'm occasionally, when I'm in some very online spaces and I encounter tankies. Like I don't know where, like I'm not sure where, like the like it's like neoliberal to liberal to Democrat to progressive / leftist to Demsoc to socialist to like where, I'm not sure where the, like, and I'm sure someone will disagree with my progression of things, but like I'm probably a progressive, I think is where you would put me. Like I'm a progressive Democrat. Like I. That's probably where I am. People are talking about I was never a right winger. I was so I grew up with a very hardcore Republican father and a mom who was identified as she was registered as an independent, but typically voted left, from what I understand. And she was an independent strategically because in New Hampshire, in the primaries, you could vote in whichever primary you wanted if you were registered as an independent. And I recall in 2008, when we both worked on the Obama campaign, that was when that was the first election that I registered for. And if I recall correctly, I believe she, for the first time, and I could be misremembering, Simon, feel free to correct me. I believe she registered as a Democrat, and so did I. And I have all of once, when I moved to, look, I was making good money. I'd moved to Orange County. I registered as a libertarian for 6 months of my life. I never voted for a single libertarian. I'm not proud of it. Not proud of myself. Not proud of myself. I fell in with a bad crowd, okay? But yeah, like here's the thing. I registered as a libertarian, and like I think that was when I was like, hey, I want all the left causes, but like, could you just not tax me too much? And that was when I didn't understand like progressive taxation structures. And I was like, I actually fell for the whole, oh, when I start making X number of dollars, which, when I hit this raise structure, I'm going to make less money. That's not how the tax structure works, Yvette. What? No one told me. I fell for some lies. Anyways, yeah, that's a thing. So I learned more about the economy and turned into a fairly far to the left. Anyways, I'm not sure about, like, as I see a lot of people who are talking about seizing means of production. I don't know if I'd be technically considered a democratic socialist or not. I'm happy to to stay registered as a Democrat, because that's at least in my that is at least in my approximation where I can do the most damage, baby. I'm probably in the farther left wing of the party without leaving it entirely, is what I would say. I think that we should have, like, I've lived in England. We should have universal, like, and from that experience of living over there and having all my relatives be Canadian, like, even the conservative relatives in Canada are like, yeah, you should have your fucking healthcare covered. It's college should be subsidized. The fact that it's not is fucking absurd. When I went to school in England, like, I had to pay the Americans rate, which was, about in line with what college costs over here. The rate for the same course for people from England, way fucking low. It was like $3,000, maybe six. I could be misremembering, but it was really goddamn low. Like, that's a thing that, like, would just hearing, like, hey, you could grad school, like, the entire graduate degree was something like, the exchange rate was different, but it was either 3,000 or 6,000 pounds for an English person, or for anyone from the EU, like, and for an American it was like $25,000. But yeah, that's they pay more in taxes, but fuck, nobody is left behind. Like, you can go as far as your intellect and your work ethic will take you, and that's something that I just I really goddamn appreciated. And it's something that I think a lot of Americans, like, with our news ecosystem over here, there are things that we just don't see. And there are things that we're told so much over and over again, because propaganda works. We're told so much over and over again that we just accept them as true. And we accept that the healthcare over there sucks. It does not. We accept that, there's that I think that there's really, really high taxes. And here's the thing, taxes are higher, but what do they get out of them? Our taxes here are really fucking high too. What do we get out of them? We get the F-35 fucking fighter that has never done anything other than be a jobs program for the military. Maybe fewer F-35s and more school lunch programs. Maybe fewer, maybe, it's a crazy thought. Maybe stop militarizing the police and pay for college for people. Never mind. I know people are scared to pay for those evil liberal arts institutions of colleges. Maybe, and this is I believe this just got proposed by President Biden, who, it's got my issues with them, but I'm overall impressed so far. Maybe demilitarize the police and cut down the military budget. We don't need it to be quite so fucking big. Maybe do all of that. Pay for, as was suggested recently, pay for 2 years of college for everyone, guaranteed. We can do that. Wipe out a bunch of student loan debt. I'm just saying, these are things that could really make everything so much better in this country. We could do it. We could do it. But we're a bad country, so we won't. Jonathan, I want a PhD from Finland because you get a top hat and a sword. There are easier ways to get a top hat and a sword, but getting your PhD, that sounds pretty fucking cool. I should ask my friend Cindy if like, I don't know if she has her PhD, or like she either has like a fucking table worth of master's degrees or a PhD, and I forget which, but I want to know if she has a top hat and a sword now. So, no, I think it's like, I wrote about this. So one of the MOSs this week, in case you've missed any of the daily moments of science, they're all at SciBabe.com, or if you want them mailed to you every day, of course, call to action, go to patreon.com/SciBabe. Link is below. And you can make sure you get every moment of science mailed to you daily, or sometimes I forget to post it on the same day and it'll get mailed to you the next day. Don't worry. Either way, they'll all get emailed to you. Now, here's the point. I wrote one of them earlier this week. I did that thing where I interrupted myself and I forgot what I was about to say. ADHD. To military budget trade school. Where was I? Hold on a second. And this is where I'm just going to look at SciBabe.com and I will remember exactly what I was. Oh, now I remember. So there was the Minnesota starvation experiment was what I was trying to think of, because it was this civilian service for here we go, for the military, that, let me find I just don't want to mess up the name of it. Civilian something. Oh yeah, civilian public service work camp. Oof, sorry. So Squirrel. Yeah, so the civilian public service work camp basically now they just decided it was like, hey, you're basically their thought for World War II was you're either with us or you're with us, and if you didn't want to, if you got drafted, you had no choice. You had to fucking do something. So if you weren't willing to pick up a gun or some sort of weapon, if you weren't willing to take a desk job, you got sent to one of these work camps where you did not get paid. You had to pick up. Now, these people, a lot of them were you had to prove you were a conscientious objector. And a lot of these people were highly religious. There were a very high number of, I want to say there were Mormons in there. Anyways, very highly religious people. And a lot of them did see this as a duty of some sort. They saw this as a way that they felt comfortable fulfilling their duty to the country. Now, I just want to point out, like, I love that. I do love that the country rewards servicemen and women for their service with college education and with benefits. But number one, like, I've seen what people go through to try to get to wrench those benefits out. It shouldn't be that fucking hard. It should be, here's you're discharged. Here's your fucking here's here's everything. Here you go. Why it shouldn't be this much of a fucking nightmare for our troops to get what they need out of it. My brother enlisted at his first college, went bankrupt and shut down, and he had a big old scholarship. And it was like, what am I going to do? Went to the military, covered school. Anyways, I've seen how hard it is sometimes to get things covered by the military. Shouldn't be that hard. But the other thing is, the one thing that I liked about the CBP, it seems like it was an acknowledgement that there are ways to serve your country that don't involve picking up a gun. So why don't we have that? Like, I want to say it was like, not like I didn't. There are a lot of things I didn't like about Pete Buttigieg as a middling centrist candidate who was just developed in a test tube by corporate America. Anyways, but he, there are some things I really dig about him, though. And one of them was suggesting, I think it was him that was like, it was either him or Andrew Yang. I could be mixing them up. But he was like, yeah, there are more ways to serve your country than just military to help pay for college. Why? And here's the thing. Having that service for people who are conscientious objectors, great idea, except that they weren't paid. You should be able to survive. Should be able to live, should be able to get paid whilst you're doing that kind of thing. Like, as C.A. Morris just said, like some kind of core job, like teaching. Like, there are things that people should be able to do to get their education covered. That's not military service. Like, I don't see why that's the only thing that's considered a service to the country. I think anyone that's had any sort of essential job during this pandemic should get some sort of academic credit. Like, dear God, I've been sitting at home on a camera. Like, I'm not someone who gets credit. Teenagers who have been at the grocery store every day stocking shelves during this, they should be getting credit for school. That's a program I could get behind. Like, that's the kind of stuff that I'm like, yeah, it's like, I don't know about grocery store during normal times, but my God, like, you've done the kinds of things that have been that have been keeping the country going during this, and you want a higher education. Why isn't there support for that? That's just that. There's my random little thought on that. Anyways, I have no idea how I got onto that random rant, but ADHD brain is what it is. Meg Ryan slapping the table style. What? Okay. Joining Space Force. Yes, joining Space Force is how I will serve the country. Okay, cool. I'm glad I remembered my random candidate out of the 47 of them that had that idea. Look, it was hard to keep them. It was hard to keep all of them straight. Did you guys have you guys been keeping abreast of Andrew Yang's mayoral run in New York City? I'm just saying, like, carpet bagging in New York is not it's not working out very well. It's amusing. It's funny watching him try to act like a New Yorker who knows how to New York. I see you. I enjoy these things. Anyways, just had to ramble. We should probably wrap this up because I'm just going to start talking about random shit that I saw on Twitter this week that amused me. And either that or I've been way too into TikTok this week. This has been my new addiction. Carpetbagging in New York. Yeah, you're right. You're right. That's, I believe, Hillary Clinton, how she got her Senate seat. That's just how else are, if you can make it there, you'll make it anywhere. You gotta carpetbag it. Anyways, yeah, my this week I've just been watching far too much TikTok. And it's been life affirming, because look, my cat is gone, or sorry, missing, not gone. And I'm sad, and I need things that are mindless to watch. And TikTok is fucking great for that. TikTok is my self care. Like I need when I need those little, tiny short hits of dopamine. TikTok's got me covered. Like that, and how many like. Look, I feel like it's the most internet thing that's ever happened. It's just like 1 minute long clips, people showing it's people having a tiny little thing that they've done. They've spliced it. They've taken all of the different food videos and managed to put them down to 1 minute. Just 1 minute. It's glorious. But like the number of stories that people have gotten in there, it's made me think. And this is, I've been tossing around this idea. I have to, it's just going to be a lot of editing if I do it. I just maybe think maybe I should start throwing the moment of science on TikTok as well, because I think that's a thing I could manage to put together on a daily basis. It's just Jesus Christ, another thing each day. But I feel like I could do the MOS as a daily TikTok as well. Perhaps. I appreciate the compliment of the hair. It's TikTok is like I've been on TikTok long enough to know hey, it's not just the new Vine, it's way better than Vine. Have you seen the way, like, my other favorite thing on TikTok is just the people harmonizing. Like that's that is my relaxation, is just going and finding people who are like, you sing the melody, they've got a harmony ready for you. I'm like, oh, you're here for me, TikTok. In my hour of need for amusement, TikTok's got me covered. Two. Anyway, it's been a long enough ramble. I think you only get, yeah, it's 1 minute, and most I think I'm trying to think if I could, like, because these are about a page long. Do it if you want, but here's the thing. I'm not gonna, if I do, like, the moment of science would not be moved over to TikTok. It would be in addition to, because why not throw them into story form? Why not put them over there too? And then of course take the little TikTok video and drop it onto Facebook. Just that way you get multiple. It's a way to limit myself of not being like, I have to turn this into an 18-minute epic. Like I tend to overdo. Let's see. Part one. No. I will keep accidentally making things longer if given permission and or having it suggest. Like I'm bad about doing that kind of thing. There are some really good medical TikToks out there. I'm a big fan. No, I have a handful of TikToks that I follow that are just like people saying, "Hey, are you having a bad day? Is somebody bringing you down? Dump their ass." Just people that are just being very like, you're just like, it's like this, as I like to call it, self-help. You're wonderful TikTok. I definitely accidentally discovered lesbian TikTok. Look, I already knew I was bi, and I'm like, I'm questioning if I'm even attracted to any man other than my husband now, though. Like, lesbian TikTok is just, ladies, if you think you're straight and you want it to stay that way for whatever silly reason, don't go to lesbian TikTok. Don't do it. Anyways, but yeah, it's just hours of thirst traps. Anyways, yeah, that and food TikTok, and my other favorite, strip talk. Just, I used to host a porn podcast, and I'm not talking to pornographers on a weekly basis anymore because I do not have the time, unfortunately. So occasionally coming across someone who's talking about the realness in the world of sex workers and strippers, and putting on a little show is delightful. Anyways, there's how I amuse myself when I'm trying to not think about the fact that my cat is missing, and COVID is spiking all over the world again. My last thing I will leave you on is like we're just a quick little note about vaccines and where we are with the pandemic, because I didn't talk about that like anywhere near enough today. But if let's see, if you're a guy and not straight, go to lesbian TikTok anyway, man. Just enjoy it. Anyways, here's the thing. So cases are spiking all over the place, right? And it's and pretty much everywhere that isn't sufficiently vaccinated and was like, we're going to lift all the orders. So this is something I kind of predicted a few weeks ago was probably going to happen. So people who people who needed the vaccine, like everyone who we were giving the vaccine out to, going to get and wanted the vaccine was going to be smart and go out and get the vaccine, right? We're going to go. We're going to do the things we're supposed to. Everyone who's been waiting inside for a year is going to come out and play, and we're going to come out and play vaccinated, and things are going to be great. And they're going to lift the restrictions, right? They're going to lift all the write down newspaper with ballpoint pen lesbian TikTok. Oh, you are welcome. Look, I have no complaint. Anyways, but so everyone's gonna come out of our hidey holes. We're gonna get we're gonna come out and we're gonna hang out and we're gonna breathe on each other. Unfortunately, there are a ton of people who are not getting vaccinated who are also like, well, the restrictions are lifted. That means there's no COVID and I can come out and play too, right? And all of those fucking pieces of shit are going to get COVID now, too. They're like, I'm going to get my immunity the old-fashioned way, and they don't understand what kind of an ass-kicking they're in for when all the hospitals fill up again. So, yeah, everyone's about to get immune to the COVIDs, either via vaccine or via being fucking morons. So that's where we're at, and that's why this is so bad all at once, is because of the vaccines, things are opening up, and because of anti-vaxxers, it's going to get really ugly. So my recommendation to you and yours, if you're going to have people over your house or you're going to be over to people's houses, so you're going to be inside with humans. Like I'm still not going to, I'm still a little nervous about going into restaurants, without masks on. If you're going to have people over your house, ask for the vaccine. Everyone's got to have their first and their second shot. If it's J&J, it's got to be a month out from that shot. But, only hang out indoors with people who are fully vaccinated. Gotta fucking protect yourself, because even though these vaccines are really fucking good, it's you don't know who's gonna idiot this. You don't know who's gonna idiot it hard. And there's a reason these are spiking, and it's because people are just they're not going by the science of there's a pandemic out there, so it means I could still get the disease. They're going by, oh, restrictions are lifted. It means I can just go out again and COVID's not a thing anymore, because germ theory is hard. It's until you hear the word eradicated, which it is not, and it's probably never going to be, COVID's still going to be a thing. So, yeah, just keep wearing. And here's the thing, I kind of love wearing the mask because my mouth is just constantly moving, just very boop, 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 boop. I like people not seeing half my face. It's nice to go incognito. But yeah, keep wearing the masks around humans and in indoor spaces. Keep yourselves safe. Get yourselves vaccinated. I've seen a ton of people in the comments today saying that you've gotten your shots, your first and second shots, or that they're scheduled. So everyone's getting their shots. Anyways, you guys take care of yourselves. I will likely see you on Sunday. I don't think hopefully by Sunday there will be video of me with hopefully my little funny buddy who likes to drool on my arm will be back here. Hopefully there will be an update hopefully there'll be an update tonight with them. I don't know. Anyways, I love you guys. Thank you for sticking by me whilst I'm depressed and rambling about my cat and anything else that comes to mind. Again, get your vaccines. Be careful out there. I'm gonna go hunt for my cat.